Hey everyone, it's Scarred. I just wanted to make this short video about how I've been dealing with grief. I've been grieving the death of my mother who passed on December 7th. Today, the 5th, it's been 2 months since I last spoke to her, moments before she fell in a shower and hit her head and had been in a coma until passing on the 7th. It hasn't been easy, I can tell you that. The first 2 weeks, I feel like I was in some sort of state of denial. I mean, I knew she was gone, but I was trying to distract myself by watching, stand-up comedy, just watching anything that would get my mind off of it and not really have to think about it. And then on the 21st, it really hit me. I mean, it hit me on the 10th as well, which was my birthday. I want to thank my sisters for everything they've done, to make that day as special as it could be. Celebrating my birthday, I turned 32. Um, I wasn't prepared for this at all. One thing that I'm blessed is that on the 5th, we both got to tell each other we love each other. She was getting ready to go to Denny's, and she told me she would call me later that night. Instead, I got a phone call from one of her neighbors telling me she had fallen and had hit her head, and that she didn't know the condition really, but would keep me updated to the best of her abilities. I was then informed that I had to legally make the decision whether or not to take her off life support, as that particular hospital wasn't like for long-term life support, or to have what they called a trach and peg installed. And this was just 5 days after everything happened. So she was in a coma, a medically induced coma, kept under sedation to get the brain swelling down and everything. And then 2 days, with no cerebral activity. But after consulting with multiple doctors, I decided that 5 days was just too soon to make such a decision. And the reason I had to make the decision is because she had no written will. And at the time, her husband was so distraught and suicidal that he voluntarily checked himself into a mental health clinic for treatment. So he was deemed incompetent to make any legal decision because apparently under Indiana law, husband comes first, despite the fact that they were married less than 2 years and he was verbally and emotionally abusing her to the point where she wanted to leave. But that's Indiana law. So I was legally forced to make this decision. I went with the trach and peg and had plans to be there in the States in January to see her for myself, to evaluate the situation, to see if any changes had been made. Because like I said, I consulted with many doctors and they told me, everyone's different, but it's not uncommon at all for someone to come out of this. And I didn't want to give up on her. And the reason I made my decision is because they told me that if there are no signs of improvement or she gets worse, I can always change my decision, have the life, um, have like the trach removed. I'm not sure, or put her under the care of hospice. So I went with the trach and peg option, and then I was called 3 times to confirm my decision and was told I would be, they would call me to let me know how the procedure went, everything. I didn't get any phone calls. Instead, I got a call informing me that her husband got out of the mental facility. So that puts him in charge of everything. You know, as it was, he was getting very confused. He suffers from severe MS, and I really don't understand how he can be competent to make any sort of decision. He can't even live on his own now. He's in a nursing home. I haven't had any contact with him. I've tried messaging him and everything to no avail. She had no will, so all of her things are gone. I have no idea where they are. All of my things, my childhood things, just everything is all gone. Um, all because she never made a will. But today, the 2-month anniversary since I last talked to her, I don't consider today or the 5th to be a bad day. I consider it to be a blessing that I got the chance to tell her that I love her, and that she had the chance to tell me that she loved me, which leads me to what I want to get into next, is counting your blessings and never ending a call or a message on a bad note with someone that you either love or care about. Like, always make sure to let them know that you love them, because the only thing guaranteed in life, unfortunately, is death. Like I said, at first, I was in some sort of denial phase period of grief. And, there's no right or wrong way to grieve. Everyone grieves differently, but I was just trying to distract myself any way possible. Then, everything really hit me on the 21st, when it had been 2 weeks since her passing, and the holiday season coming up. It was really rough for me. But I wanted to take the time to thank everyone that's, been there for me. If you guys have watched any of the lives, then Key. Um, she was with me when I got the news of not only just the accident, but the passing, and she took the time to stay on the phone with me for, days, putting aside her own problems and her own everything, just to make sure that I was doing okay. And I'm forever grateful for that. I don't honestly know how I would have been able to get through everything if it wasn't for her during those moments. And I also want to thank everyone who has, sent their condolences. That means a lot, believe it or not. I even want to thank the people who, and before I say this, I want to disclaim, I'm well aware that I'm not the only one that has suffered you know, a loss or a loss of a parent. I also lost my father in 2004 when I was just 14. So everyone that has said, it'll get easier, I'm sure everyone that's lost something, we don't like hearing that, but it is true. One thing that also everyone has been saying is, it will get easier with time, but it will get harder before it gets easier. And that's where I find myself at this very moment, I feel, is, like after New Year's and everything, the reality really kicked in that I can never message her again. I mean, I can message her, but I can't get a response. I can't ask, hey, what was the name of that song you always used to play? Or what was that song you sang? Or what was that joke that you always told me? I can't reminisce with her anymore. I can't hear her voice anymore. And that's been very tough. I was angry for a bit, and now I feel like I'm at, and don't get me wrong, it's not easy at all, but I feel like I'm at the acceptance stage where I accept the fact that she's gone, and I have to face it and move on with my life and everything. Obviously, not a day will go by that I don't think about her and miss her. Like, and same with my dad who passed, I still miss him, but this is still so fresh, and it still, is really painful, really painful. I also want to thank everyone, every subscriber who has been patient with me, because prior to everything happening, I had so many plans for more guitar lessons, guitar tutorials, like demos, videos, like, and I still have those plans, and those plans will be put in action from here on out, because I can't just, I don't want to just live in depression, and I don't want to just give up, and that's another thing everyone, who's experienced a loss, I'm sure, gets told countless times, is to be strong. Well, it's easier said than done, I can tell you that, for those of you who haven't lost, you know, a parent, let alone both. But clearly I am being strong. I'm still here and everything. I try my best not to, break down. I try my best not to dwell on it and think about it, because if I do that, then I will just fall into a really deep depression. But I just want everyone to be appreciative of those that love you and those that you love. And even no matter how many or how little, some people don't have that many friends. Some people might just have one or two people in their lives. I don't have many people in my life. I like to keep my circle small. And really, I only talk to about 3 people. And unfortunately, one of them, who isn't even aware yet of my mom's passing, is, who you guys probably also know from the lives, is Connor. Connor should be out on the 13th. That's my understanding. I want to just thank like literally everyone who has sent their condolences. Even the people who have said to be strong, it'll get easier, because I know that them saying that, their intentions are good. You know, and when I've been in that position myself, you know, when someone I know, they have a loss, you know, you kind of are at a loss of what to say, because there really isn't much to say except for I'm sorry for your loss. You know, it's been a nightmare, but it's a new year, and things now will continue as normal with the lives, with everything, the lessons, the guitar lessons. I've even been inspired myself working on more of my own original music. So the inspiration definitely is coming back. Um, November, ever since, you know, November 5th, you know, I had been filled with anxiety. And then, you know, I still have that anxiety, you know, I still have, you know, the sadness. And, you know, if you would have asked me a few weeks ago, are you doing okay? I would say no, not at all. You know, now if someone's going to ask me to say, or ask me if you're doing okay, I would say, I'm getting by. I'm doing the best I can. And once again, I'm thankful for everyone who has been there for me, because it really means a lot. More than I can put into words. I'm sorry for my absence here on this channel. And once again, I appreciate those of you who have, you know, commented, you know, take your time, or now I understand why you haven't been uploading, things of that nature. But I was supposed to do like a pretty big live today, and if I can find, like, go back in my notifications, and this has to probably be somewhere in November, and for some reason it's not like loading all the way back. But I was going to do like a pretty big live that may or may not happen tonight, but I just want to again thank everyone for their understanding. If you guys have any coping mechanisms, feel free to put them in the comments, or, you know, I'm open to everything. And I just want to stress, you know, don't leave anything on a bad note with anyone, because you never know when it's going to be the last time you're going to talk to them or see them. I didn't even get to physically say goodbye as I had planned to in January because of my decision being overridden. I wasn't even informed by the hospital that my decision had been overridden. I wasn't even informed that she had been cremated and her ashes were sent to her cousin in New Jersey. I was pretty much kept in the dark on everything, and that in itself was painful as well. But I am thankful for the people I have in my life. I know I'm not the only one who's had a loss in 2021. I know I'm not the only one who's lost a parent. I've had tons of losses, believe me. But it's not a competition about how many losses you've had or whatever. Like I said, I know things will get easier in time, but I can only hope that that's going to happen sooner than later. But just please, everyone, like, if you're on bad terms with someone and you don't want to be or whatever, be the bigger person and just reach out. As for me, like, I don't have any beef with anyone or wish anyone ill anymore. Even those who I've felt that have done me wrong, that's all water under the bridge for me. Like, it really is. I don't want, there's already too much negativity in the world. Adding to it is really just adding to it. It's not making the world or anything any more positive, and the world does need more positivity. So, with that said, I didn't want to make this video this long, but I had to say what I needed to say, and I'm sure I'm leaving a whole bunch out, but then it would turn into a 1 hour video. But thank you once again, everyone, for your understanding. But from now on, things will be back to normal. Remember to tell your kids, your parents, whoever you have, that you love them, because you might not be as lucky as I was 2 months ago to have had that chance. Had I not spoken to her 2 months ago and all this happened, like, I think things would have been way worse for me. So I don't consider the 5th, like I said, a bad day. Obviously, a tragedy happened on that day, but a blessing also happened moments before. She was about to head out to eat, and then she was going to call me later, and then, like I said, that's not what ended up happening. So with that said, I hope everyone enjoys their day to the best of their ability. Thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, let me know. If you enjoy the content on my channel or the future content that will be coming, such as more original music, more Manson demos, more live footage, even some other videos I have planned that I'm not really going to announce them before they're done, but you'll see. But if you enjoy anything, please subscribe, turn on notifications. If anyone would like to help contribute to the channel in any sort of way, there's a link in the description to do so. Any amount would be greatly appreciated. With that said, peace.